All right. Thank you very much. Welcome to Mastermind with Neil Schwartz. Our special guest today is Marc-Andre Martel. And I had an opportunity to meet Mark. We had known each other, seen each other over time, but at the last retreat, and we were just chatting about what's going on in the marketplace, what's happening. And he shared with me something that has just caught my attention, stopped me cold. And I said, we need to talk more about this on the Mastermind group. And Mark, what was it you said to me that you were doing now in restarting yourself? I mean, well, first of all, back up a little bit. You've been in the business how long? Mark, you're muted.
There you go. Thanks for having me, Neil. I'm thrilled to be with you guys here today. And I've been in the business for 14 years, started in 2010. So
and your primary market is?
Montreal, Canada.
Got it. Okay.
Up there.
Good. Excellent. Excellent. So, Mark, what was it that caught my attention and we've had an opportunity to talk about a couple times?
Yeah. So I said that this year I'm starting from scratch. I'm starting new. And I think that kind of shocked you because you didn't know what I was talking about.
Well, I don't think I've ever heard it actually phrased that way from somebody who's as successful as you are.
I think it's something that maybe crosses our minds, but I really latched on to that thought. And you said that, are you having a midlife crisis? Are you like, how you're changing careers? And I was like, hey, maybe I'm having a midlife crisis. I'm 38, who knows? And I mean, when I'm going to be 70 something, maybe, but that's not what I was talking about. I really wanted to focus on, the successes or the failures that I've had in the past. I wanted to put them aside and then look at today and look what the future is going to look like and see the potential that I have, and then just go 100%, 100% forth. So I'll give you guys a little bit. I think you wanted to get a digest of my career so far.
Right.
So I started in 2010. I did a few deals, 15-ish deals, 15, 20 deals the first year. Wasn't much, but it was enough to get me interested. I remember doing my first commission and I was like, it was $12,000 back in 2010. So that was a lot of money. And I was like, yeah, I think I can do this. This sounds kind of fun. So that got me interested in wanting to stay in the business. I had, I didn't think I was going to be in real estate. I did my real estate classes the last semester in university and it started the next day. So started in real estate, had a good first year, and then started to do 1 year after the other. In 2012, I bought my first property. And this is something that I did throughout my career. So 2012 to last year, or 2022, I bought and sold a lot of properties. I still own 17 of them for 68 units. And all those properties were bought and refurbished, either built from scratch or like I bought a parking lot and I built a building, or they were old buildings. Here in Montreal, it's an old city. So most buildings are between 120, 150 years old. So refurbished them all and got them running, and now I kind of like hold on to them. So that to me was one of the goals that I've had. Like when I was in university, one of the things I wanted to do was become a millionaire. And then so when I reached that goal, I was like, oh, I want to build myself a really nice house. And so when I did that, it was starting to feel like I was just working to maintain, and I was looking forward to the weekends, looking forward to Friday night. And that's not really the me that I know that I love, and that keeps me alive. So one of the things I wanted to do is focus strictly on selling real estate. That's a game that I know how to play. It's a game that I think I can win. And my partner and I, we stopped buying properties, and last year we put everything into our brokerage business. And really, I want to start from scratch. I want to forget everything in the past. And the thing that I wanted before was maybe making a certain amount of money and all that kind of stuff. The thing that I want now more than anything is not miss out on my potential. Like, I don't know exactly what that potential is, but whatever it is, when I'm done with this life and this career, I want to say that I nailed it and I didn't just do it half-ass,
That's great. That's fantastic. You know, we get caught up sometimes in what we've done and we're afraid to move on to something else.
That's
And
right.
I find this very refreshing, and it's a reminder of, okay, we want to change careers or we want to go do something different. You're taking, think about it, everything you've learned in this life of yours, and instead of being distracted with doing a little bit of business, making a little bit of money over here, building a building over here, buying a house over here, taking a lot and building something on top of it. We have so many distractions. And that's the word that I think you used.
That's
That
it.
that was the next thing. Use way too many distractions. The question was, what if I get rid of all my distractions and I focus myself, my energy, with all of my knowledge on what's going on now, which includes scripts and dialogues, right, Mark?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah,
Role play, mastermind, everything that you can put into it, then it will come out exponentially.
right, right. So, what do you think this is going to look like down at the end of the road?
What I'm looking to accomplish by 2028 is 600 transactions. So I believe in how I've built my team is I believe every listing can create another transaction. Okay. So people that come onto a team, maybe they're not super strong listing agents, although they can be. They can do some basic things to take a listing and create another listing or another buyer from that. So my goal is to my first focus is to bring the listings up to 300 and then make sure that as I'm bringing it up to 300, we're always doing one for one. Every listing that I take, we're doing a buyer sale or we're doing another transaction that wasn't coming from me or from the type of the work that I do on my end. And so in 2028, if I can do 600 transactions, then I'll be back here and I'll be starting from scratch.
I love it. Fantastic. Okay, so when you got so we got started, we built a career, we've made money along the way,
Yeah.
and now you want to start from scratch again.
Yeah.
So how do you see starting from scratch for you?
So
Which
yeah, sorry.
which by the way is going to be how somebody else is going to start from scratch wherever they're at, correct?
Exactly. No matter what you're doing sports, you're being a parent, maybe you're the best parent and you want to start from scratch, you can do that. There's always something left to be done. So the first thing that I did is take responsibility for everything that was going wrong or that was going right. But like, let's say it was going wrong, I wanted to focus on that. So if my team wasn't doing well, I wasn't a good leader to them. I wasn't giving them the right support that they need to be good. If I wasn't getting the listing or if I wasn't getting as many listings as I wanted, it's not because the business was tough. It's not because of numbers are no longer available. It's because I'm not making that happen. So that was the first thing that I did. And it changed my whole outlook on how I approach things. And it makes it much, like I was saying to you, Neil, earlier, it makes me much happier. I mean, I can control things. Like I like control. So now that I can control those things, it's up to me. I don't have to worry about anything else. So that was the first. And then getting back to basics. Then when you're thinking of basics, you're thinking about mastermind, role play. You're talking about fundamentals that you have to do every single day. And that's how you build momentum.
So when you say take control, I mean, we talking about throwing out all of your systems that you have and then rebuilding them? I mean, what does that look like?
Like I'd say like looking at how things are working and then seeing how you can change what you can change. The first thing you can take control of, for example, is your schedule. I mean, it's the obvious one. So my schedule now is I wake up at 3:30. I'm in the gym by 4. I'm back at my house by 5-ish. I'm in the shower, I'm all done, or I do administrative work first, but let's say I go to the shower, I'm done by 6 something, spend a little time with my family, and then I'm on the office by 7. 7, I'm doing some sort of role play, a meeting, like sometimes I have business meetings at 7 in the morning. And then by 8:30, I'm getting on the phone. I'm calling everybody for their birthdays. That's something that I do religiously now. COI or past clients, I'm just calling them for their birthday. It's a good vibe because they're happy. They're happy to hear me, and I'm like the first one. And the joke now is like I call you before your mom calls you. So I'm the guy that you have to think of when you want some real estate. And then I call leads at 9. I really follow up on the hot leads for sale by owners, whatever's hot that day. Fall back into past clients. I have appointments at 12, 1, and 2 if necessary. Then I'm back at the office. I'll do a little bit of admin, and I'm either just listed, just sold as of 3:30 till 5, or sometimes I'm in the car. I'll stop the car right there and I'll get out and I start door knocking wherever I'm at till 5 o'clock. So, I mean,
And
that's one of
right.
the first things that you can take control of. Then all the rest kind of goes around that. When you start doing that, then you take control of the momentum. People see you do that. As a leader, people want to see you out front. They want to see you fighting. So they don't want to see you back on the white horse. So if they see that from you, what are they going to do? Sit back? No. Like you're like, you're taking the fronts and stuff, Neil. You're taking initiative. If I take initiative, people will follow me.
Well, that's absolutely true. Absolutely. Good stuff. Okay. So you don't have to preview property right now at the same level you did. So that you don't have to go back to basics, or do you? Maybe you didn't do it. I don't know.
So the basics that I'm going back to in terms of like the market is just getting in touch with being very, very aware of market stats. And we do that as a team now, because that's one of the thing. If you're on a call, just listed, just sold, for sale by owner, you're on a listing presentation. If you can pull out your stats and you know what's going on in your market, it makes a difference. You don't have to ramble on about all the numbers that's going on, but if you can pull 2 things out of your pocket, they know you're a professional and they know you're in control. So that's something that like I've gone back to basics, because I kind of like lost track, and you kind of get complacent, and you think you know it all. You're giving the same stats you give last month. I'm sure everybody's done that. So I really like dig into the stats and what's happening right now, and I do preview a lot of property, not physically, but online. I spend time.
So you have a pulse on what's going on in the marketplace.
100%, 100%, yeah.
So school districts and schools important to your buyers and sellers?
Not that much. I mean, we're in a kind of like an up and coming part of the city. It's a lot of condos, it's a lot of townhouses. People are young, they might not have kids yet. So there are schools, but it's not like a suburb. We're more downtown, so.
Okay. So how does that market play? Do you walk up and down buildings door knocking?
No, I mean, I wish I could, and I have done before they started they started telling the co-ownerships not to do that. So there are areas that I can go to the door, and like the area that I am right now, I don't know if you guys can see it, like, so there's a big building there that's just been built. I can't access those buyers, but if I go maybe a mile down the road, then there's homes, and I can door knock those, And I do have lists that I've built on my own from numbers that we got from the past that I can still use and call. So I do that.
You don't can't correct me if I'm wrong. Canada doesn't have companies like Arch, and that you can't buy phone numbers, correct?
So we have tele-listing, but it's not very good because you don't have any cell phones. You only have landlines. And so landlines are starting to disappear now. Like only folks that have landlines are the older areas. So you have to do it other ways. You have to do it other ways.
So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but our agents are spoiled. A lot of our agents are spoiled that way, in that we can find out a ton of information, phone numbers, even email addresses in many cases. But you guys don't have that.
No, we just got to do it from scratch. It's a gift and a curse. You guys have more numbers, but everybody's calling those numbers. So if I can figure out a way how to get in touch with those folks that are expiring or like whatever the case may be, then I'm probably the only agent on the list, you know? So one of the things that I did do for expired listings, because I don't want to miss out on, let's say the first of the month, that's like a big expired day. I have a driver show up at my office at 6 something in the morning, and we hop in the car, and this guy is a pro, and he's driving me through the city, and I'm knocking on doors as quick as I can. By 9 o'clock, I've maybe, you know, touched 20 something people, you know, if
I
they've
love that idea.
yeah.
I can't get agents to drive themselves there, and you're actually spending money to have somebody drive you there. Good
Yeah.
for you.
And it works. It works. And it's a, you know, they see you show up at the door, you're dressed in a suit. There's a guy in the front of your Range Rover, like waiting for like a chauffeur. It all looks good if they answer the door. If they don't, you just go back in your car and, you know, go to the next door.
Do you ever, since you already drove there and took the time to get there, do you ever door knock houses around that house?
I would, but the thing is now with COVID, and I think this is one of your questions that you asked, like how COVID affected the business, is people stop answering the doors like at 9:30 because they're on a Zoom call, they're on a like whatever. So I'm trying to do as many doors as I can before 9 o'clock, and then by 9 o'clock, my hit ratio it just drops drastically.
Interesting. Interesting. Good stuff. Excellent. So you have to be kind of creative in getting your foot in the door, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that I did, and I heard, was it the guy that was on stage? He's Greek, DK. He was talking about
DK.
customer service on stage in San Diego, and this is something that we've been doubling down on because I have 1,200 people in my, and I actually have more than that, more than 1,200 people in my database, maybe closer to 1,300. And I have all those numbers. I have all their information, stuff like that. So I have to be in contact with them and then contact with their friends and stuff like that. So he was talking about customer services. This is really something that I'm focused on, being as present for my past clients as possible, showing them that I care, because like I started in the business, I was more of a hunter, so to speak. And I haven't put the work into giving the customer service to my past clients as I should have. And I've just started that in the last year, and it's just been good because people are now referring, they're becoming prospecting tools for you. You know, if you're able to get somebody to really believe in you, then anything that happens, they'll be like, wait, you have to talk to this guy. I had an appointment last week that the girl said, she said to her friend, if you don't interview these people, I am disowning you as a friend. She wrote that by email. And then the other friend just forwarded us the email we saw the email under. And she said, well, look, I don't want to be disowned as a friend, so I'll interview. You're going to be the 6th. Sorry, so you don't have the best spot in the whole thing, but I'll still take you. And we got the listing. So, I mean, a good word goes a long way.
Goes a very long way. Absolutely. Fantastic. Give me an example of great customer service in your opinion.
So more communication. Like I think anybody that's ever bought something or been in a case that they're the customer. I'm thinking of like all the great restaurants that we visit when we're in Vegas, when we're together at the retreat in July. You know, like there's so much communication from the client, like let's say the server, to us, the customer, that it makes us feel good. And it's, again, something that DK said, it's like the way that it makes you feel. So one of the things that we do is every Friday, we call all our sellers and let them know. We send them an email with all the stats, everything that's been done. We get all the feedbacks. We run after the agents that are not giving us the feedbacks. And every Friday, we speak to them, tell them what happened last week, what are the results, and what's the game plan for the upcoming week. And just that in itself, people feel, if they've been with other brokers before and then they get to us, they're like, wow, this is incredible. This is incredible customer service. So that's just one example.
Very good. Excellent. Good stuff. Okay. Questions for Marc-Andre as we go along here. Raise a hand, give me a sign, jump in.
Not everybody.
Yeah, right.
Hey, Mark, I have a question.
Mark Andre has his hand up. Go ahead, Adam, please.
Appreciate your time, Mark. I appreciate it very much. Given the challenges that you have with numbers and things like that, what other methods are you using to connect with people that are outside your database?
That are outside my database, there's not much to except the door knocking, except we've tried some social media stuff, but that is really secondary. It's not going to get you to the goal. Like you're trying to have conversations. And so really, yeah, just being as in touch with the database and doing as much door knocking as you need to, or prospecting around listings for the numbers that do exist. You have more numbers than you have time, right? So if you make the numbers an excuse, forget it. There's always somebody that you can be calling. So just call that person.
That's a great call. Thank you.
Excellent. Thanks for the question, Mark. Good stuff. Okay. Other questions for Mark here? Is it Mark Andre or Mark okay? Or how do you like to be called?
Yeah, so French, they have this really bad habit of giving you two names and there's a hyphen. So that's your first name. Marc Andre is my first name. But generally, Anglophones will call me Mark and Francophones will call me Marc Andre. But I'll leave it up to you, Neil. I won't be offended. You can call me whatever.
Yeah, as long as you don't call me late for lunch.
There you go.
Exactly. Manuel, did you have a question? Manuel Dominguez? I saw you move over there.
Yeah, no question. I am thoroughly enjoying this interview, though.
Okay,
Mark
good.
Andre.
Excellent.
I had a
Fantastic.
question, Mark.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Simon.
Yeah, I was curious. You say you started you were doing an investment. What made you come back to selling real estate? Because that could be a pretty lucrative area, right?
Investing you're talking about?
Yeah. It seemed like you got a pretty good portfolio line.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. So, I mean, what I did is I started investing only when I had a little bit of money, and that money came from selling real estate. So I started real estate in 2010 and then started investing in 2012. Ultimately, I think for investing, what ends up happening is if you're buying to refurbish and to really like do construction work, which is what I did before, that is a whole other ordeal.
Yeah.
It's a whole other business. And the construction business is a tough business. There's a lot of stuff to learn. There's a lot of money at stake, and you can go wrong really quick. So, I mean, to me, one of the last deals that I did, and also with rates going higher, it's just not super interesting. Like I bought a building at 1.2. Like before I could buy a building for 1, I could put 400,000 into it. I removed, let's say I negotiate for the tenants to leave. Then there's some light costs. It cost me, up to 1.5, 1.6. And then I refinance it for 1.5-ish, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. So I end up having $200,000-300,000 in the building. The latest one that I did, that's just like that, like a sixplex that typically I would have wanted to buy at $1 million. I bought it at 1.2 because market prices are going higher. Construction costs are no longer, 400,000 for the same renovations. It's like 600,000, and then there's license costs and stuff like that. So I'm in the building for like, I'm in for $2 million, and now with the refinancing at 6%, I get $1 million from the bank. So I have to leave $1 million of my own money in this deal. Not super interesting, So. Until the numbers make sense, and ultimately I made a promise to myself I won't buy, like, because this is my problem. Also, I say I'm not buying any more buildings, and I end up buying a building. Last year I was like, I'm not buying any real estate. I bought one property, but just because it really fell in my lap. But until the numbers start to make sense, but even then, like let's say in the medium term, what I'm trying to do, and I was telling Neil this, I want to get to 600 transactions, 2028. And if I'm going to be doing something else in the future, I'd like to build maybe a hotel and have something that has a little more cash flow. And I'm not buying so many buildings. Like I have a really good portfolio. It's worth 25 million. that'll be good for my retirement. Once, you know, I retire in 25 years, I did the numbers, it's going to be worth maybe 70 million or 75 million at that point. And I just want to, if I do something, it's going to be for more cash flow, and it's not going to be what I did before, but I'm not going to get there until I get more millions of dollars just sitting in my bank account nicely and calmly. And that's what I'm looking for in the next few years.
Good for you. And you believe that you can do that by starting from zero every day in the real estate business.
Starting from zero every day, every week, every month, every year. If you guys can start from zero and put it on your shoulders, the world is yours. There's nothing that you can't have. You know, if you start complaining and you start blaming other people, and that's it. That's the beginning of the end, as you say in French.
As you say in French.
Le début de la fin. That's how you say it.
Is that it, huh? All right. Fantastic. All right. Other questions for Marc-Andre? Other questions? So while they're thinking, Mark, talk to me about your superpower.
So what I, and we talked about this earlier, what I think my superpower is staying on a schedule. Really, no matter what I ended up doing, whether it was deals in real estate or selling real estate, being able to be very, very regular on my schedule. So I think for the newer agents, if I had to comment, the one thing to do and not get caught up in all the details, so you keep it simple. Have a productive schedule that includes prospecting in the morning. Learn minimum 2 Mike Ferry prospecting scripts. There's more. I think there's 4, 5, 6, but like learn 2 minimum. Pre-qual, learn the pre-qual, learn the 1 minute, learn the listing presentation. If it's your first year, if you can do all those things and you stay regular, you'll make 6 digits and more. Like, you don't have to complicate it. Just do that and you're good. You know, you'll be good with that.
Wake up every day. You don't have to wake up at 3:30 in the morning to make money, do you?
No, well, I mean, not to make money. I do.
I don't mean you. I'm talking about the average real estate agent could wake up slightly later.
Yeah, I mean, and Mike says this all the time, your schedule reflects your own goals, you know? So you could do 2-3 hours in the morning, go on 1 appointment in the afternoon, and you'll make $100, $200, $300,000 a year. Easy.
Right. But everybody else is looking for the magic pill. So, Mark, how did you get connected with Mike Ferry? I never asked that.
So was it a mortgage? I think it was a mortgage broker that gave us some tickets. And I didn't see Mike at first. I saw Matthew Ferry. And I remember sitting there. I was with my partner, Philip, who's also my cousin. We were thinking, is this a scam? You know, like he's talking about millions of dollars. I was like, is this possible? But and we didn't sign up right then and there. I think it took about a week. But that was our first contact. It was probably at the beginning of 2014, and we jumped right in. And our second, like the first year after that, went from making 200 to like 350, 400. Again, in 2014, that was a lot of money.
A lot of money. Absolutely. Good stuff. Excellent. All right. Other questions for Mark? So, Mark, I don't mind asking questions.
Come on, guys. No questions? What's up? Are you like...
That's all right. Some of them know everything. It's okay. It's all right. We're good. So talk to me about something intrigued me about market stats in the AM, and you're looking for statistics. And we encourage the agents to go out and do that every morning, right after role play, go check the market stats and then get on the phone and call, you know, et cetera, et cetera. What are you looking for? What things come up that, you know, we took one listing, we didn't take a listing in your zip code, you know, things like that. That's not what you're talking about, is it?
No, I'm talking about like median price, days on market, absorption rate, you know, how many months of inventory are on the market for any given segment, you know, condos, homes, and all that kind of stuff. So it allows you to have like a very intelligent conversation with the seller. You know, if you can show them some stats when I don't always give them all the information. Obviously, if they're not analytical, I don't do that. But it's always good to know. Like when we're doing our follow-ups on Friday, if there's your 88 days on the market, the average is 88 days on the market, and they're at 103. Guess what that means? Anybody wanna guess what that means? They're overpriced, you know, so the market is outperforming them, and we aim to get it done in 21 days, 30 days. Our average is maybe 32 days. You know, the average of the market is 88 days, and they're at 100 something days. So what does that tell you? You know, so to be very, very, very familiar with all those things, because you won't have the chance to actually look for them when it's the time to.
Got it. Got it. So let's go back to you want to reinvent. Well, it's not really reinventing, are you?
No, starting from scratch.
Starting from scratch. Okay. So I guess it's a hard concept for me to really, you know, we have properties, we have how do you start from zero? I mean, you're not broke, thank God. What keeps you motivated?
Pretend those things don't exist. You know, like I think one of the things that really kind of put me back into like the mindset is last year we were on vacation with my dad and like my whole family, and my baby was there, and my wife and everybody, and we were vacation with my dad, and he has Alzheimer's, or he had some form of Alzheimer's, and he got COVID. And when he got COVID, that was it. Like he wasn't able to walk anymore. He wasn't able to make any like sense. He was gone, like from one day to the next. We were there on Saturday, and it happened on the Wednesday, and I've never seen my dad since, you know, since that Wednesday. He's still alive, but he's no longer there. And one of his best friend, which is a notary, which is in Canada, the attorneys that close the deals, they don't actually close the deals. We have notaries. His best friend, you know, just a few months ago, just died like suddenly. So to me, it just gives me the idea of it does, you know, the buildings, the money, I'm not going to take it with me. So the only thing that I'm going to take with me is knowing that I did what I wanted to do. So that's the best way of like starting from scratch, because the truth is the watches that you have, the buildings that you have, it doesn't mean anything. So you can really start from scratch anywhere and at any point in your life that you want, you know.
Even my watches don't mean anything?
Not your watches. And I think you have a really good collection of glasses, if I'm not mistaken, right? They look like
glasses and watches.
Okay, so I have bad news for you, Neil.
Okay, let's talk about something else.
That's good. I made you uncomfortable. That's good.
It's good. All right. Okay, so what would you like to leave this group with that hopefully would make an impact on them to finish Q1 strong?
Well, have goals that are clear to you. I mean, the accountability that you create with your colleagues, with the people around you, is essential to your success. So make sure that those goals are clear, and then make them clear to other people. So how many listings you're taking, how many, you know, first of all, excuse me, how many contacts and hours you're prospecting, how many listings you're taking, or how many appointments you're setting. Start with those things and pick one person that is different for each one of those. And I'll tell you why. Because let's say, and I've done this myself, so I'm guilty as well. Let's say you're doing contacts and hours of prospecting with one person, and me, it's 45 per day and 4.5 hours of prospecting. So what ends up happening is you don't do that, and then you text the person to say, or you call them, say, look, I didn't do the 45 hours, but I got a listing, but I got an appointment, and you kind of excuse yourself, and they can't keep you accountable. So one person for everything. That way, even if you got 5 listings in one day, that's not going to do anything for the fact that you didn't prospect that day. It's not going to do anything for the fact that you didn't set appointments. So get accountability, have one thing per person, and then if you didn't do it, say you didn't do it and let it sit with you. Don't try to fill that with other things that you did. You saved a kitten from a burning tree, so that they don't go like, oh, why did you do that? Didn't you do your thing? So I would say accountability, your goals, and saying, getting said, like, I like when somebody says no to me, it's just, I get closer to that yes. And I actually like them when they're saying no in a very quick way. Like if they hang up on me, it's perfect. Because I didn't miss like 3 minutes or waste any time with them. I got to the no right away, which gets me closer to the yes. And if I don't get an appointment or if I don't get a listing, those are just steps to success. And that's always what I keep to keep the mindset strong, and then also just keeping the accountability strong. So in 5 years, Neil, you'll ask me, are you at 600 deals? I hope so. And I'll have to
I will.
And
I will. I'm going to make a note right now. I'm going to have it on my note tab. But in the meantime, I'm going to check in with you and have you come back and tell us some of the issues you ran into, some of the problems that come up. I mean, you make it sound, Marc-Andre, you make it sound pretty easy. You're 38 years old. You've already made one fortune. You have a beautiful family. You have a really good life going on. And you've decided, whoa. Okay, I want to really see what can happen here.
That's it.
What if I really did start from zero every single day? What could be? So how much money would 600 closings in a year give you?
So that would be 600. So 100 is about 1.5. So that would be, I calculated this already, but I don't remember. So it's something around $6 million, something like that. Yeah. Gross GCI.
Yeah, but would you be happy?
We'll see. I'll buy a few more watches and I'll let you know, Neil.
I love it.
But yeah,
I love it. All right, unmute yourselves, please. Unmute yourselves. Let's give Marc-Andre a big hand. All right, good job. So what we do right now, Mark, is we take a few minutes and we go around the room and I ask everybody the question, what did you learn today? You're welcome to hang around and hear what people say, or if you have a hard stop, we certainly understand it. But thank you so much. I picked up a couple of really good ideas. I'll just start with it. Have accountability with multiple people for multiple items. I've never thought of it in those terms, and it makes total sense because if I had accountability to you and I needed to get 2 listings today and I got my 2 listings, or let's say I got one of the listings, et cetera, you would call me on the carpet, right?
100%.
Okay, but if I got my 2 listings, you wouldn't call me on the carpet. However, I didn't prospect and I didn't do my role play and I didn't do any of the other stuff that's going to get me 2 listings tomorrow. Right?
So
yeah, no, I like that. I like that a lot. And then the other thing is, I think for our group in our role play, we're going to bring some statistics to the call every day, probably starting in a few days. I like that idea a lot. And sometimes real estate agents don't always do what they're supposed to do. So this might help them do another deal. So thank you from me. All right, who else? What else did you learn today? Come on. What else?
How do you find out all their birthdays? That's a great idea.
Well, we have their info, the driver's license and all the identification when they sign the brokerage contract. So we keep them in a CR. Well, we have a CRM, so it pops up first thing in the morning. It's 12 people's birthdays. Another good trick for that, I look on Facebook. So I'll call everybody on my CRM first, because sometimes I have my clients on Facebook and on on my CRM. But so I'll call everybody first, and then for Facebook, I'll either call them or send them a voice note. If I don't know them and I have never spoken to them, or like I've spoken to them once and they're on my Facebook for some reason, I'll just send them a voice note. Hey, Mark, it's Mark. I noticed it was your birthday. Just wanted to wish you a very, very happy birthday. Hopefully, you have a great time with your family, either today or this evening. But in all cases, have a good one. Give me a call back if you need anything. I'm in real estate, and I'll see you soon. Just like a
Thank-
quick something like that. It takes 2 seconds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great question, Candy. Mark, I don't know if this is a Canadian rule, because it certainly isn't a big rule here. We actually don't ask for the driver's license until you're, in most cases that I'm aware of, until
Closing.
you're signing notary papers, where
Right.
you're signing loan docs.
Mm.
And just from I'll bet you'd get rid of a decent amount of people that are jerking you around if you got a copy of their driver's license right in the very beginning, and just kept it on file.
Absolutely. You say you have to identify who are selling or who's signing the contract. I want to make sure it's your neighbor not selling this guy's house. So
No,
And-
we hear this all the time, especially with vacant land, where people are listing and selling land and actually selling it, and it's a fraudulent deal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, it's not funny, but I mean that can happen.
yeah, absolutely. Thanks. See, I got another great idea. Good stuff. Well, I don't know if you guys got great ideas. I'm getting great ideas. Thank you. All right, what else did you learn today? Come on.
I'm impressed at your door knocking. I mean, I know that Canadians have to door knock because you can't call lots of stuff, but first you say you go out early in the morning on the first of the month for expireds. And in addition to that, you just stop someplace and do it. And you guys have weather.
Yeah. That's it. There's snow everywhere right now, so it's not the time to come to Montreal if you don't like cold weather.
What parallel is that? Is that the 49th parallel line?
I don't know. I don't know.
There's a line I just heard about the other day. I think it's the 40-something parallel that actually divides Canada and the United States in many areas. Different
Yeah.
rules, different stuff. I don't know where that came from. Okay, what else did we learn? Richard, what did you learn today, Buckingham?
Start every day at 0. I mean, it's amazing where he is in his life and what he's done, but he still goes back to the very, very, very basic of 0. And I think that's, I don't know how you do that, Mark Andre. Share with me how you do that.
Well, I mean, it's a relief. You don't have to, we're not all perfect. I accept myself as an unperfect being. So every time I screw up, I'm like, I'm starting from 0 tomorrow morning anyways. So it doesn't, so it's a curse and a blessing, I don't dwell on my successes, but then I also don't dwell on my failures or things that I've said wrong or things that I've done wrong, or if I've hurt people's feelings and stuff like that. Only thing I can do is start from scratch in the morning and try to do my best from there.
You've got an unbelievable mindset. Unbelievable.
That's great. Thank you, Mark. Good question, Richard. Okay, who else? What else did you learn today? Let's go. Come on. Come on.
Manuel, Mark Andre, I really appreciate what you said about keeping it simple
No.
and get rid of the distractions. As basic as that is, it's so refreshing to hear it coming from someone like you.
That's very cool. Good stuff. Thanks, Manuel. All right, other things that we learned today.
Yeah, I love Miriam. I love when he said, have a productive morning schedule, make calls, learn the 2 prospecting scripts, pre-qual listing presentation every day.
Love it. I love it. Good stuff. All right, what else did we learn?
I want to piggyback on what you said earlier about the market stats. I mean, those are really, really critical. And what he said, it shows he is in control when you have the market stats.
Knowledgeable in control, and knowledge equals confidence, ladies and gentlemen. And if you don't come across confident, it's because they don't think you're very knowledgeable. and you're not going to get the listing. You are
And he
not
doesn't
going to.
repeat. He doesn't repeat the same market stats from the previous month. These are current, and he's on top of that.
Yeah, I think that's great. Really, really good. Good. Anyone else? All right, let's unmute yourselves again. Let's give them a big hand. Mark, Andre, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Really
Great
good
job,
stuff.
Mark.
Thank you.
Mark Andre,
Very
thank
much
you.
appreciated.
you.
All right,
Very good.
pleasure being with you guys, and I'll see you another time. And you guys can all ask me where I'm at. Keep me accountable, and I'm